most important thing for the Cree people is stay in the land and take care of it.
Taking care of Iyuichi is a priority for the 9 Cree communities and their 21,000 inhabitants. This is a land of abundant natural resources, such as water, as well as trees and minerals.
I'm the eyes of the Crees and Hydro-Québec on the field.
Jenilee Trapper has been working in connection to the Eastmain-1 Development since 2005. Today, she is a logistics field coordinator, helping to plan the efforts led by Hydro-Québec's environmental teams and making sure that the Crees are consulted and involved.
Environmental preservation is very one of the important things too for the trappers and the hunters.
Environmental preservation in a land that has changed, where the river has changed. The Rupert River now feeds Eastmain-1 generating stations, hydropower facilities, which produce over 1,200 megawatts of near-zero-emission power.
I'm Karine Durocher. I work for Hydro-Québec as environmental advisor for the human environment. So I'm an anthropologist by training.
Karine has played a key role in Hydro-Québec's social and environmental approach in Iyuichi. During our Hydropower Sustainability Standard certification process, Karine provided a wealth of information to the assessors.
The Eastmain-1 and the Rupert diversion projects were major projects. A lot of studies were done first to foresee the environmental impacts and then measure work plan to attenuate the effect of those impacts. For example, a lot of measures were targeting Cree population, mostly to enable them to continue to use the territory even though water level would have changed with the project.
York Hartman is an assessor with the Hydropower Sustainability Alliance and lead assessor for Hydro-Québec's Eastmain-1 Development.
Key takeaways are that this is a project with a large footprint. It's undeniably large reservoirs that were created, a lot of change in land use. The most surprising or positive takeaway so far is that both the original decision to go ahead with the project and then the continuing work on mitigation of impacts and work with the communities that live around the project has been quite consensual, which is rarely the case to this extent.
Many measures were planned at the beginning at the impact assessment stage. We had a meeting once every year with each tallyman, each trap line to follow the implementation of the measure, and sometimes additional measures were needed.
Assessors met with representatives of the Cree communities in the monitoring committee. On site, they saw many of the mitigation measures that were implemented at Eastmain.
Among the measures that has been seen by the auditor and observer, they are all the weir that allow to maintain a water level from different stretch on the river, which maintain the fish habitat, spawning ground. It means also that not only the fish habitat is maintained, but the way of life for the Cree is also preserved and protected.
One of the objectives of the Hydropower Sustainability Standard is to make sure that hydropower developments deliver net benefits to local communities. The standard's 300-plus criteria extend far beyond social and environmental aspects.
It's a rigorous process. So the HS Hydropower Sustainability Standard has a protocol which involves 12 different topics and different issues. It's an exercise that brings lots of people involved, lots of colleagues, engineers in biodiversity, archaeology, people that work in different domains. And we made about 40 interviews with internal employees. We made maybe 10, 15 interviews with the assessors, with external parties.
The rigor and independence of the process are fundamental. Sustainability tools and standards must be credible and inspire confidence. Because if the means required to take us through the energy transition are not accepted by communities, we can't succeed.
We need independent verification that people will believe in. A lot of people are still underestimating the scale of the energy transition. The scale of the renewable projects that we need to build over the next decades is a tenfold, 20-fold increase of what we have today. It needs all the sources of renewable energy that we have. They need to work together, because otherwise it won't work technically. And so starting with the hydropower sector is a good start, because we have made so much progress. We have learned so much over the last decades of what works and what doesn't work, what leads to social acceptance of projects.
The underlying vision for the Hydropower Sustainability Standard is promoting understanding and collaboration between utilities and communities. As Jenilee puts it, we need to transition together.
Like I always say, we're here for permanent. Hydro-Québec is here for permanent. So it's very important to work together. Even the trappers and hunters need to know that Hydro-Québec are here permanent too. So collaboration is very important.